We're going to organize a World Summit event. Me and my doctoral students. And we're going to do that 2 years from now, here in Tunis, with the help of a lot of other people. But we're going to do it because it should be done. It's wrong to have a World Summit and not have Americans there. We are going to be there in a Muslim country and invite people from Africa, Asia, and Latin America. That is what it's going to be.
Strange call from South Africa about the World Summit on Sustainable Development. World Summit is such an impressive label, I had to go to that. It's a summit. Even better, it's the world. There was a global science forum, the International Council for Science, the Third World Academy of Science, the World Federation of Engineering Organizations. Not many Americans there, certainly not George Bush. They did not let many people into the main summit, and civil society got most of the press by marching and protesting. But the next summit was going to be on the information society, more up my alley. Someone asked me at this PrepCom. Oh yeah, the PrepCom is a preparatory committee meeting for those in the know. They have these before the main summits. Someone asked me, why don't you guys come to this kind of event? Someone else asked, do you think Colin Powell is coming? They were really reaching for an American if they had to ask me. It's important when you come to the plenary session to be aware of who is there and who is not, because you will need a seat. And if you happen to be looking around for a seat, you can often find one in a small country. For example, the Laotians are not here today.
The problem is to build more knowledge and more common position.
That to me is the primary issue. Where do we need to be shouting the loudest on which issues in each day?
There's a lot of talk, a lot of documents.
Well, it seems to be a pretty chaotic, disorganized group. I can say on the positive side that I met the two people that I was looking for within 1 minute of arriving in the halls. Now the question will be to meet people and to make connections.
Ultimately, it is about the connections you make, the people, the partnerships, the collaborations.
It's in one way entirely chaotic. In another way, it is, after being here together for 7 or 8 days, it is beginning to take shape that people are understanding the process.
We've noticed there's a lack of participation of North Americans. here.
Yeah, as you know, North Americans have always, even what I regard as very progressive and radical North Americans, naturally enough, I suppose, tend to look to their own place first. And
The main summit is so noisy and busy. It's good to have a side meeting. Problem is, we have no money. You might get money from the government. The problem is that if you have no money, you can't have a meeting. And if you don't have a planned meeting, you can't get the money. In any case, you've got to have a hotel.
I think it's really critical that we have somebody to do the local organization because, this is a different cultural situation. It's an Arab country, it's an Islamic situation here, and we've got to have somebody that knows the local place.
If you want to work together, I will announce this to our General Assembly, and just after the Congress, just after the summit, we'll start working together.
That did not happen. That's why there are international conference hotels.
Well, it's just difficult, I don't know if we're going to find anything. All the meetings are private. Gender caucus is private. Plenary private. It's a lost cause, and we just got to wait until Monday, get started there, and go off to CERN and do our thing.
CERN is the European High-Energy Physics Lab, and one thing they have, along with expertise, is money. They had a great idea, having their meeting before the summit and not at the summit.
We're here at the World Summit for the Information Society. This is the RISIS event, the Role of Science in the Information Society, hosted by CERN. And in Tunis, right, which is, let's say, similar to this one here, only I don't think we're going to have the facilities. This is Tunis. We're going to do sessions, and this is what we call the past, present, and future of science and engineering in the Information Society. A kind of history of how we got here, current applications, and in the future, it's actually not more even higher bandwidth applications, but the inclusion of the Latin American case and so forth. But you the most important part of the conference is getting a good-looking program packet. So, Secretary.
One program?
Of IT resources, regardless of their job.
So the idea was that one should be able to communicate by sharing information. I wanted every system out there to be part of the World Wide Web.
It's a beautiful idea, but after 10 years in Africa, it's just not realistic.
Yes, we're organizing an event similar to the Science and Technology event here, only for Tunis in 2005.
And I think that today we had some matters concerning the not only digital but knowledge divide, having the ICT, the net, but you have to have a more holistic approach, taking into account the background, the cultural, the sociology, socioeconomical development of the countries.
I've had some difficulty over the past few years really explaining to people why it's so difficult to get connected in some places in Africa. I did what any sensible person would do, which is I made a movie.
This film is about the blues. It's about the people that have the blues. It makes a statement about the condition of the blues. But it's not about depression. It's not about bad feelings. It's not about people that are perpetually sad. It's about the social conditions that constitute the blues.
It involves resource scarcity and dependence on outside agents.
This picture, you describe from, are very, very realistic.
I think it's a very complex issue, and you showed it beautifully. I thought, wow,
You can tell more stories by video than you can talk. It tells so much.
We have our 3 countries that we study. We're going to go to Ghana. Okay, here we go.
Okay, that's how Ghana fares relative to the other countries that are big on those things. But we see that Ghana has ICT expenditures of 6.56% of GDP.
We've made a commitment, so we just need them to tie down one of these 3 hotels.
What about the focus on developing countries?
The 2 diagrams that I keep drawing are basically, one is like the Venn diagram of science, ICT, and development. You know, and we're trying to kind of hit the intersection of it. And the other, calling it the theme matrix, if you have past, present, and future, and then it's really themes by participants, and past, present, and future are, you know, how we got here, which includes, you know, people talking about what is the history of the information society, what's the role of science in that. You know, it doesn't just start with the internet, it goes back earlier, and some panels that discuss that issue. The present are the ICTs for collaboration, the uses of ICTs that have made a difference for the production of knowledge, and some discussion, I won't say demonstration because we don't know the facilities there, of the high-end supercomputing applications, virtual collaborations, what they call collaboratories, and the future is the developing world. You know, that's our gimmick for focusing on the
digital divide.
Of the digital divide. I'm introducing myself, Wesley Schrum, and I think I'll just say professor of sociology at LSU, Louisiana State University. I'm also secretary of the Society for Social Studies of Science for forever, probably, for a long time, for about 15, 16 years.
My name is Andrew Kaniki from the National Research Foundation in South Africa. The National Research Foundation is perhaps similar to what you have in the United States as a National Science Foundation. It's a granting agency. My role there is knowledge management and strategy. So I've been involved in the PrepComs in terms of the ICSU and UNESCO's PrepCom in March in dealing with science in the Information Society.
I'm Greg Monaco. I'm with the University of Kansas. I'm Director for Research with a consortium of 14 universities where I work to enable collaborative research using IT for ICT.
I'm Carthage from the International Council for Science, which is the umbrella NGO for science academies across the world and also international science unions. And we've been involved in this process from the outset as to how we can help with information society and what we need out of information society.
We're just going to talk briefly about accessing the scientific information. Some of the presentations this morning we heard about, the important role of science in development and the important role of information in science. So we just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the experiences of promoting access to scientific publications through a program called PERI. So it's not just about providing access, it's about providing capacity development assistance in producing and using information as well.
In one institution, there's so many disparities. You go to one faculty, people are with us with what we're talking about. You go to another faculty, it's as if they're living in a different country or in a different continent.
Will it reconfigure access to scientific and technical resources? Will it create new divides and change who's in and who's outside of different networks? We're looking at whether or not the web is leading to a winner-take-all process in access to scientific research.
One of the key things that we are seeing and we are very encouraged by is that we see more and more governments recognizing that there is a positive correlation between investment in research and development and the actual development happening on the ground. Some of the realities, the internet, we haven't seen yet as the global equalizer. It's like the paperless office. There's a lot of progress, but it just doesn't happen everywhere.
International collaborations through the internet, or supporting scientific research for the internet so that we can accomplish work at a distance. Quite frankly, most of it
over the course of the mid-1990s, you begin to see this differential emerge by this tremendous potential of access to resources and potential for collaboration, and no corresponding increase in the internet infrastructure to facilitate access to that. And I think we all know some of the reasons why that happened, not least the regulatory challenges of the incumbent telcos who did nothing.
People have lost the information habit. There's not just a can you use the internet question. This is research literature. Do you remember what it looked like? We've been conducting sensitization sessions in the Lao Republic, for instance, where researchers simply don't know what the international research literature is. They've never consulted it.
There are certain cases where people are projecting $150, even $100 PCs or laptops. And in those cases, what you'll find is that they are also promising a significant technological breakthrough. And I would say in order to get from 200 to 100, you need several significant technological breakthroughs to get to that point. And one question is, if you make those kinds of breakthroughs, whether your primary interest will be in rural villages or not. And the other problem is that people often think of the hardware cost as being the main cost for a PC, for running a PC. But it turns out that hardware cost is maybe a fourth of the actual cost it takes to sustain a running PC over time. So if you amortize the cost of a PC over, let's say, 5 years, and then consider things like electricity, connectivity, and maintenance, those other components cost almost as much over time as the hardware for the PC. And PC cost itself is not a one-time expenditure. You need to replace it every few years, particularly if you're in a hot, humid, dusty environment. This is a cost that's significant for somebody who is intending to make a business in a very poor village where the average person may not make more than $300 or $400 a year.
He likened ICT as a big large bus that is moving along a highway with everybody seeming to get on board. Everybody except sub-Saharan Africa, where the majority of the people do not still even know the road to the bus station. So everybody is moving in the bus. In much of third world Africa, we are still groping in the dark, in a rough technological terrain, trying to find out where the bus really is.
Electronic newsletter also. Okay, so we have that.
Why you didn't have any session in Iran or any central point in Iran? Why? Yeah. Because our country is a developing country. We have a strategic plan for increasing our ISI articles and
really? Okay.
You know, one is step by step near to the standards of information society.
Yeah, I think Iran would be an interesting place to go. Yeah. He's the coordinator for the Philippines.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So I was just thinking about your prospects in Iran. How is it like in Iran? Like Philippines is more or less okay for American research to do. How about in Iran? What do you think of that one?
I think there is no problem because this project is scientific.
Okay.
And
you think we won't like any barriers if we go there? We will be okay. We'll be safe there.
Surely, it's very safe.
Which university is this one?
For example, Tehran University, or my university, which I educated in it, Tarbiyat Modarres University, TMU University.
You have a website?
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Is it safe for Americans?
Yes, of course. Surely. In spite of intergovernmental relationship, people
are fine.
Yeah. We have some limitation because of religious. Our government is religious, and this limitation is a cultural limitation.
in the Information Society.
Summit and not have Americans there. We are going to be there in a Muslim country and invite people